Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today I have great news for all of you who collect data, those of you who have to ask other folks for data, and for the really downtrodden, those of you who have to provide data to others. We have a tool that you can use now to ask a question in plain English and get back the data you need. That's Econ Agent, this little box at the top of the screen. Let me open it for you, and I like to look at it in full screen mode. So here we are. Here's an environment where you can ask a question like how many student credit hours were taken in English last semester, or what are the top 5 programs in descending order based on contribution per student credit hour. Off. Let's see if it can pull this one off. Oh, there we are. There's the data. So let's put the machine through its paces and see what it can do. And here I'll give you an example of some questions I just asked it and what it answered. So I asked a fairly poorly laid out question. What are the top 10 programs? And it was able to figure out that I wanted to know about last year, which I didn't tell it. So it picked the most current academic year. And it gave me the number of students in each program. And that was this definition of size. But you'll notice it mixed my bachelor's programs with my doctoral programs. So it's not exactly what I wanted. So let's go and say, well, I really wanted this in terms of revenue. And here we can see it's gone back in and it's pulled the data in terms of revenue, again, telling me what academic year it pulled for, even though I didn't tell it what academic year I wanted. And I looked at it, oh, geez, I should take that doctoral program out. So I said, give me bachelor's programs only. And now I've got pretty much what I want. Bachelor's programs for the academic year 2024-25, and I've got the gross revenue for each of those programs. But I want to be able to present it. So I need a bar chart. So I asked it to make a bar chart with that information. And here it is. It created a bar chart of my top 10 programs in terms of gross revenue for the academic year 2024-25. Now, after each of those questions, I did have a little wait, about 30 seconds. So all told, this probably took me a minute to a minute and a half to create. And you'll notice up here, I can expand it. I can also download this information and use the chart in a PowerPoint presentation, for example. So that's an example of what it can do. Now, I tried to find out cost per student credit hour, and I wanted it at each percentile. So the first percentile, the 90th percentile, the 80th percentile, et cetera. It didn't like that question, not a very well articulated question. So I changed it a little bit and said, list cost per credit hour by percentile. And it went in and it found my cost per student credit hour by percentile for the year 2024-25. I was actually surprised that it could figure out, go in our data and identify percentiles and pull the numbers back out. But a bar or a text chart for that is not the greatest. So I asked it to create a line chart, which allows me to clearly see this dramatic variation in cost per student credit hour. And again, it took about 30 seconds for it to produce a line chart with this information. Then I wanted to transition and look at something very different, DFW rates. So I asked it, what are DFW rates by percentile? And it couldn't figure it out the first time. So I switched and asked it to show the courses with the highest DFW rates in 2024-25. And here they are, intermediate grammar, college algebra, and so forth. And I asked it to put that in a bar chart, which it was nice enough to do. And I wanted it to do it as percentages. And then I realized there was a different problem that I really had included all courses. And many of these courses with very high DFW rates have very small number of students. They might even be as few as one. So, you get one student who leaves, you have 100% DFW rate. So I changed my query to say, let's do this with more than 10 students. And here are my courses with more than 10 students that have high DFW rates. And now I can put that in a table. And again, I can download it and I can see which courses have a meaningful number of students and a way above average DFW rate. So that's an example of the kind of work that you can do in the system. It can't always give you the correct answer. It'll give you reliable data. It can't always answer every question the first time. So you might have to reformat your question, but typically in a minute or two of changing and editing your question, you can get back the data you need in about another 30 seconds. So it's pretty quick at doing very large scale analytics and reporting back the information to you in a format that you can use.